Why is the Democrat propaganda machine so fired up to destroy me?
The woke blind virus is fundamentally racist, fundamentally sexist, and fundamentally evil.
People are being taught to hate here in Gaza from when they're children. They're taught to hate.
Some could interpret purchasing this car as behavior characteristic of imperialistic brat.
This is a young and awkward Elon Musk in the 90s, bragging about his purchase of a $1 million supercar. He would crash it on a joyride weeks later. Decades before he would become the richest man on the planet, the 28-year-old Musk was riding the wave of the 1990s dot-com boom. He had already founded his first company, Zip2, and was about to launch X.com, a startup that would later become PayPal. Since then, the owner of Tesla and SpaceX has been dominating headlines. He's gone from implanting brain chips into human patients to raising his arm in a Nazi-style salute at President Trump's inauguration, to appearing in a bizarre AI-generated vision of Gaza, casually enjoying hummus. Once a Democratic supporter and climate advocate, Musk became the biggest donor to Donald Trump's second presidential campaign, contributing over $288 million in political donations to Trump and the Republican Party. This, along with his $44 billion purchase of Twitter, now X, has propelled him to an unparalleled level of power. Now, the once nerdy software engineer is Trump's self-declared first buddy, turning the White House front lawn into a Tesla showroom and heading the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, where he's tasked with cutting federal jobs. Now, as part of his war on woke policies, Musk has boasted that his team has saved taxpayers over $1 billion by eliminating DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion contracts.
Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
So how did he go from tech nerd to one of the most powerful and dangerous men on earth? Born in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon Musk's entrepreneurial streak began early, selling homemade Easter eggs door-to-door and coding his first video game at just 12. He has called his childhood difficult, shaped by his father's abuse of his mother, relentless school bullying, and because of his Asperger's syndrome, struggling with social cues. According to his first wife, Justine, the software engineer was not a man who takes no for an answer, and said, "I am the alpha in this relationship," during their first dance at their wedding. Musk's risk-taking and appetite for danger is a factor in his personal life and career. Just 2 days into a PhD program at Stanford University, Musk dropped out and went on to establish 2 technology startups in the 1990s. X.com, later PayPal, was sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, and Musk earned $180 million after taxes. He poured his fortune into his new business ventures, $100 million to SpaceX, a company built to rival NASA at a fraction of the cost, $70 million to Tesla, an electric car startup on the brink of collapse, and $10 million to Solar City, a push for renewable energy. At times, these bets almost ruined him. Tesla and SpaceX were on the verge of bankruptcy before turning into 2 of the most valuable companies in history. And now, Musk's empire spans defense, energy, and space, making him impossible for the US government to ignore. His company, SpaceX, is a major defense contractor, giving him unprecedented influence over national security, AI, and military technology through Neuralink, SpaceX, and xAI. Over the years, Musk and his businesses have received at least $38 billion in government contracts, loans, subsidies, and tax credits. His approach to space exploration, faster, cheaper, and more ambitious than NASA, has made SpaceX the dominant force in satellite communication. With 2/3 of the world's satellites under his control, Musk holds unprecedented influence over global infrastructure, security, and surveillance. By 2022, Musk was riding high, Tesla had sold over 1 million vehicles, and SpaceX had launched more than 30 missions, successfully sending both cargo and people into orbit. But for Musk, this wasn't enough. Once a Biden supporter aligned with Democrats on clean energy, Musk had drifted sharply to the right, increasingly consumed by culture wars and the so-called woke mind virus, a term used to describe progressive movements, particularly around race, gender, and social justice. But his most personal turning point came in 2022, when his transgender daughter, Vivian, legally cut ties with him, a loss Musk has blamed on woke ideology. From that moment on, he embraced right-wing narratives, attacking DEI policies, LGBTQ+ rights, and immigration. Musk's frustration with the left had evolved from business disputes to an ideological crusade. Convinced that mainstream platforms were suppressing free speech, he set his sights on the most influential political platform in the world.
So, Elon, a few hours ago, you made an offer to buy Twitter.
His purchase of Twitter was totally impulsive. He didn't need to do it. SpaceX, Tesla were really on their way to being enormously successful.
On the 14th of April 2022, after playing video games until 6 a.m. with his then girlfriend Grimes, Musk sent a tweet.
He's always been impulsive, always been a bit of a madman, but that's a key to understanding who he is. He's a drama seeker. He's a risk taker. And that can make him a real jerk.
6 months later, the deal was finalized. On the 27th of October 2022, Musk walked into Twitter HQ carrying a sink, posting the caption, "Let that sink in." Musk renamed the platform X and began reshaping it to fit his ideology of absolute free speech.
What was it ultimately that led you to make the decision to do it?
I mean, this is going to sound somewhat melodramatic, but I was worried about that it was having a corrosive effect on civilization.
Musk personally boosted far-right extremists on the platform, including Alex Jones, a conspiracy theorist banned for spreading false claims about school shootings, and Tommy Robinson, a far-right British activist linked to anti-Muslim riots. Musk has tweaked X's algorithm to amplify his own posts, giving him immense control over public discourse, fanning the flames of racial and political controversy, not just in the US, but globally. As Musk's influence over political discourse deepened, so did his involvement in global conflicts, including Israel's war on Gaza, which has killed more than 50,000 Palestinians. In late 2023, after being accused of platforming anti-Semitic content on X that triggered an exodus of advertisers, Musk traveled to Israel, meeting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and touring areas attacked by Hamas on the 7th of October. His visit was highly publicized, with Musk standing alongside Israeli officials, vowing to combat anti-Semitism on X and reaffirming his support for Israel's military response in Gaza. Musk also agreed to not provide internet access to Gaza through his satellite company Starlink without Israeli approval.
You have a huge role to play, and I think we need to fight it together, because under the platforms which you lead, unfortunately, there's a harboring of a lot of old hate, which is Jew hate, which is anti-Semitism.
His visit to Israel showcased Musk as a global political player, shaping real-world conflicts through his tech empire. We can see this happen again in the UK, where X single-handedly revived a scandal from the 1990s on British grooming gangs. Groups of mainly Pakistani men who sexually abused hundreds of young girls in northern England. Musk called for British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to face charges and sparked calls for the US to place sanctions on the UK, forcing Starmer to respond to the allegations.
Those that are spreading lies and misinformation as far and as wide as possible, they're not interested in victims, they're interested in themselves. Those who are cheerleading Tommy Robinson, not interested in justice. They're supporting a man who went to prison for nearly collapsing a grooming case, a gang grooming case.
and this has cost Musk a lot. The social media company has lost nearly 80% of its value, with several companies including Apple, Disney and Unilever either pausing or withdrawing their advertising on X. Acquiring Twitter was a financial disaster, but a political triumph for Musk. While the platform financially crumbled, the billionaire's anti-woke crusade and influence over right-wing discourse surged, securing his place as a key power player in conservative circles, transforming X into a pro-Trump MAGA stronghold and paving the way for his place in the White House. So let's see how that happened. After acquiring Twitter in 2022, one of Musk's first major moves was reinstating Donald Trump's account, reversing the ban imposed after the 6th of January 2021. He soon began aligning with Trump's policies, especially on immigration, publicly backing a US border wall with Mexico, one of Trump's most defining campaign promises. By the time Musk officially endorsed Trump after an assassination attempt in July 2024, X had already become a pro-Trump echo chamber, elevating MAGA narratives while limiting the reach of left-leaning media. Musk backed his political influence with money. His biggest contribution, $43.6 million and $75 million, went to Trump's campaign, funneled through America's PAC, a political action committee Musk created himself. Musk shared false information about opponent Kamala Harris, as well as posting false claims on voting security, further fueling speculation he was using X as a political tool. In one of his most controversial moves, Musk launched a cash giveaway in swing states, offering voters who signed a petition supporting free speech and gun rights a chance to win $1 million a day. But Musk wasn't just funding Trump's comeback, he was becoming a part of it. As the 2024 election heated up, Musk moved beyond online influence and onto the stage himself, becoming a headline speaker at MAGA rallies. Standing alongside Trump, he mocked woke policies, attacked the mainstream media, and pushed anti-regulation, pro-business rhetoric. When Trump returned to the White House in January 2025, Musk followed him in, this time not just as a supporter, but as a key player in his administration. Trump created a new government office just for him, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, tasked with cutting federal jobs and eliminating wasteful woke spending. What began as an internet joke, Doge, a play on the Doge meme and Musk's obsession with Dogecoin, had now become a reality, symbolizing how Musk's online influence had fully crossed into real-world governance. Under Musk, Doge quickly slashed thousands of federal jobs, particularly in agencies focused on climate policy, social programs, and diversity initiatives. Musk boasted that the department had already saved taxpayers $1 billion by gutting DEI contracts. Doge also began rolling back regulations on tech and energy industries and pushing AI automation in federal agencies, replacing workers with Musk-backed AI solutions from xAI. Conservatives and MAGA supporters praised Doge, celebrating Musk as a tech genius, dismantling government bloat. They saw him as finally holding the bureaucratic elite accountable. But the massive job cuts and AI-driven policies sparked outrage from the Democrats, federal workers, and labor unions, who have called Musk's actions corporate authoritarianism.
With our constitutional federal republic, you don't take a chainsaw to that. We're not a business, we're not a startup tech. This is government, humanity.
Beyond that, he took a direct role in US space programs, AI, and defense policy, expanding SpaceX Pentagon contracts, shaping AI regulations to benefit his own company, xAI, and advising Trump on national security issues, from cyber warfare to Starlink's military applications. In return, Musk secured massive federal subsidies for Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, cementing himself as Trump's most powerful billionaire ally. But with reports emerging that White House staff are growing frustrated with his erratic leadership, relentless cost-cutting, and unpredictable behavior, questions are mounting about how long his political influence will last. Could Musk's days in Washington be numbered?